Hello, friends. It is time for a high dollar what sold. So these are all my sales. I normally started at $50, but I'm starting at about 45-ish because we really have not had that many high dollar sales. And I normally do it every 2 weeks, but it's been 3 weeks. So took that long to get that many high dollar sales to show you. So these are all going to be close to that $50 sales point. They are good profit. These are ones that are definitely out there. They might be out there a little less than your, $20, $30 items, but they are there. These are all ones that I found, I sold. So I will tell you where I found it. I will tell you how much I paid for it, and I'll tell you how long it took to sell. And I'm going to share all of them with you right now. Up first is a vintage Yves Saint Laurent that took about 8 months to sell. This one sold for a best offer of $48.99, but I'm only about $5 into this one. So this one's about a $35 profit. So if you see the title, it says Vintage Yves Saint Laurent Paris Diamante Glass Perfume Bottle. Doesn't say it's the perfume. So that's kind of a little trick. If you want to sell almost full bottles of perfume. Here you can see that 25 ml, and there is the measuring tape. And this one was a good sale, but it did take a little bit longer to get out the door. Next up is one that took over a year to sell, and it sold to a viewer. It sold to Miss Gail, and it sold on 40% off. So I comped this out. It should have sold around that $85 mark, but it did not. I had it over a year, so I put it on 40% off. Sold for $50.69. I paid about $20, so it's about a $25 profit. This is a J. King's Mine Fine turquoise pendant. So always watch for J. King. They do typically sell a little bit faster, but sometimes this happens. And the nice thing, though, is it's jewelry, and it really does not take up a lot of space. Next up is another one that took over a year to sell, and another one I didn't expect would take that long, but again, it happens. So at least, again, another jewelry piece that doesn't take up a lot of space. This is a Swarovski large 3-inch silver tone pink clear crystal daisy flower brooch. I did put statement because it's 3 inches. It's big. For me, anything over like 2.5 inches, I would consider a statement piece of jewelry. So sold for $50. I only paid $10 for this. So this one's about a $32 profit after fees. And here you can see the swan on the back. It's kind of blurry there, but it is there. And that is what you need to look for when you are trying to identify Swarovski pieces. And this one was still a good sale. It just took a long time to get there. All right, back to back Swarovski items, but this one only took a month and a half to sell. This is a Swarovski crystal figurine swan, small, was 1.5 inches and sold for $49.99. It was in the original box, and I paid $10, so it's about a $32, $33 profit. And I love Swarovski. Typically, I don't pick up a ton of the just clear crystal ones like this one, but this was in a lot of Swarovski items that I got, and I was honestly surprised at the value for just a plain swan, and it sold very, very fast. One that took right at a year to sell, and I did have to send out a pretty high discount to get this sold, and I sold it for $50, but I paid less than $5. So my profit was really good. This is a hand-painted extra large Native American Dreamcatcher mandala. It doesn't have the feathers or anything. So I might have just priced too high, but it is still a $35 profit. However, it did take a year to sell. Next up is a really, really neat one. This is a vintage silver 3D detailed spider insect ring. This was just listed a month and a half ago and sold for $59.99. It is sterling silver. I only paid $5, so this one's over a $45 profit. It does have a signature in here, but I wasn't able to identify it, and it was dated 1994. but I'm very, very happy with that $59.99 and it having sold so fast. Next up is one I showed on my regular What Sold. This is a vintage Navajo mini rug. It's 14 inches by 9. I did put Southwest Dollhouse centerpiece fringe in. I did get positive feedback on this. It sold for $59.99. I paid less than $5, so it's a $45 profit. You can see I did have to do the 40% off sale. I had it priced at $100, but really happy with that $59.99. And this is a really, really neat vintage woven rug. You can see there were some condition issues on it, and it still sold for that $60. Next up is a really cool pair of Louis Farad Bijou geometric Art Deco earrings. These are lucite, and if you missed my lucite video, definitely check that one out. It will blow your mind what some lucite items can sell for. And these included, when I researched these, I really was kind of taken aback. They sold for a best offer of $69.99, and they sold in about 8 months. So I paid less than $5. These are over a $55 profit. So remember the name Louis Farad Bijou. These are big. They were over 2 inches. They were clip-on. You can see the original price on these was $125. So that being on there gave me the clue to research a little more before pricing these. And this was a great sale at $70. Next up is one that took about 6 months to sell. This is a Navajo horsehair pottery bear, 5 inches, and sold for $59.99. I think I paid around $10 for this one, so it's about a $40 profit. I absolutely love horsehair pottery. A lot of it, unfortunately, is not very valuable. So if you find horsehair, definitely make sure that you look up a similar piece before you pay up for it. Next up is one I bought in an online estate auction lot. It came with a bunch of other glass and crystal. This one took a while to sell. It took about 6 months. It did sell for full price of $69.99. This is a heavy crystal egg paperweight. It was clear cut. I did put extra large because it was 4 1/4 inches and weighed 2 pounds. Really, really heavy. Beautiful, beautiful egg paperweight. And here you can see it with that tape measure, and a great sale at $69.99. And again, about 6 months to sell. Next up is an amazing Louis Meideke bowl. I got 80 pieces of these and I paid $8 each. It was over 2 years ago, so it's been a while. And this one sold for a best offer of $90. And it is not a big bowl. This is like your typical soup bowl. So it's over a $75 profit, but took 2 years. Now, I did have a lot of them that were similar, but because they're actual works of art, they were not meant to be set. I did list them all individually, and this one was a great, great profit. Next up is this really cool red Brahmin purse. I got this at the thrift store for $20. It was listed 4 months ago. It sold for a best offer of $104.99, so about a $70 profit. And I couldn't believe I found, I think, 5 Brahmins in one day at the thrift store, and I never found any before. So it goes to show you really never know what you're going to find when you're out thrifting. And this one was a great profit. I did send out 30% off, but I still made over $70. Next up is my old GoPro. So if you don't follow my catch treasure hunting channel, definitely check it out. I do thrifting videos, and this was the camera I used to use. Now I use a GoPro 10, and this one sold for $119.99. And I got my use out of it, so I consider this pretty much all profit. So we'll say it's like $100 profit. I did throw a couple of accessories in there with it just to make it a bundle deal. And this one sold in about 4 months. And again, I got plenty of use out of it, where I do consider this all profit. Next up is one that took 2 daggum years to sell, and I really did not think it would take that long, but it did. And it surprised me. This is a cloisonne clock. It's really, really neat piece. It sold for a best offer I sent out of $140 for half off. I only originally paid $20, so it's actually still $100 profit. I think it was worth the $280, but you know, I had it long enough. I sent out that offer. You can see the Made in People's Republic of China. And it actually, I didn't take pictures, but it has ladies on the side of it. So that's my bad, because this was a really, really neat piece. And again, over $100 profit, but it took 2 years. Next up is this really, really cool vintage Digsmed Denmark 1964 teak and cast iron hibachi grill. This one did have to go on the 40% off, but I had 2 others that sold without a sale. So this one sold for $150. I did pay up. I paid about $20. So about $100 profit, but took close to a year to sell. Amazing piece. Please keep your eye out for mid-century modern teak and cast iron pieces like this, because they are very sought after. This one just had a little fancier tray, so I priced it higher, but the 2 I priced lower sold very, very fast. Next up is another one that took a while, and this one took up a lot of space because it's a comforter and pillowcases, but it was a thick Ralph Lauren comforter. So it sold for $120. I accepted a best offer. I paid $20 for it at the thrift store, so $80 profit approximately, but took a year. So I would still pick these up because I have the space, but I would say, unless you're seeing a lot of sold of that pattern, if you don't have a lot of room, you might not want to pick these up. However, the profit is really great when they do eventually sell. So keep your eye out, and you can still just pick up like pillowcases and sheet sets that wouldn't take up as much room. And Ralph Lauren is a good seller. Next up is another amazing sale, and we are getting up to the top. We have this one and one more, and then also 2 on Poshmark that were high as well. So this one I accepted a best offer of $325. I paid about $100, so about $175 for the profit. Really, really gorgeous bracelet. It was not signed, otherwise it would have been worth more. I did originally have it priced at $600, but sometimes when you've had stuff a long time, you just have to let it go. Next up are some Gucci Camel Maxi monogram sneakers. These are size 9.5, and these sold once and did not pass the inspection for authentication because they were, the size says size 9, but that is really a 9.5, and I did not know that for Gucci. So these sold again for $320, and they did pass authentication. This time you can see made in Spain. They did have some scuffing. That is why we had read in the title. They had the box, they had the extra shoelaces, and they were in excellent, excellent condition overall. I think they were maybe worn once. And we also still had the original receipt. So I got these on an online estate auction. I paid about $150 for these. So they're about $150 profit, and they sold in under 2 months. Over on Poshmark, I sold this amazing Tiffany & Co. return sterling round tag chain link bracelet. This one sold for $200. Payout was $160. I paid about $60. So this one's close to $100 profit. And you can see the please return to Tiffany & Co. We did have the box as well. We show the link there. And this one sold pretty fast. It sold in just a couple of months on Poshmark. Next up is this antique wall frame wood bubble glass convex Victorian young boy portrait. This one sold for $194. Payout was $153. I only paid $20, so it's about $130 profit. It did take a while to sell. I love picking these up when I find them and can find them cheap. I actually just got another one from the flea market not very long ago for only $10. Now, the picture and the one I got from the flea market is messed up, but just the frame and the glass of these will sell well over $100. So definitely keep your eye out for those. All right, that is everything for my high dollar. I hope you have enjoyed it. I love sharing with you these higher dollar items. They definitely are out there. I haven't had any really crazy ones. I've sold stuff up to $3,000. Hopefully we'll get some of that stuff selling soon. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what your favorite item was down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share with your friends if you think they'd like, and make sure you're still subscribed.